Your demo works perfectly. Your production system breaks in week one. This is not a coincidence, it's a pattern. And I'm going to show you exactly why this happens. Now, there are three specific gaps between the tutorials and the production. It's not vague, it's different hand weaving, which are three concrete identifiable gaps. Gap one, scale. Gap two, failure. And gap three is the decision making. So let's do one thing. Let's break each one and understand what are these gaps. So the scale is the most obvious one. It's also the most underestimated one. In a tutorial, you're processing one request at a time or maybe 10 requests at a time. Your API call may take 2 seconds, and that's completely fine. Your context window would have a plenty of room, and that will also be fine. And your monthly API bill at demo, it's just $12. That's absolutely fine. Now multiply that by 10,000. The 10,000 support tickets a month, that's roughly 330 a day, which is about 14 an hour, which is one in every 4 minutes around the clock. Suddenly, your 2 second API call matters right now because if it spikes to even 5 seconds under the load, your queue backs up. The context window would matter because the customer histories starts getting long and you start hitting the token limit. And coming to the API bill, at 10,000 calls a month, using the wrong model for the wrong task can blow through your entire monthly budget in the first week itself. Now, here is where most teams go wrong. They think scale is just means more requests, but in reality, it's not. Scale means every architectural choice that you made gets stress tested. The cracks that were invisible at 10 requests would suddenly become catastrophic at 10,000 requests. The second gap is failure. Now, this one is a sneaky one because in tutorial, everything works because that's the whole point of tutorial, right? Inputs are clean, your API is always available, the model will return exactly what you would expect. But in production, nothing works all the time. The model would hallucinate, the API times out. The user would send the input in a format that you didn't even anticipate. The user sent a screenshot instead of a text, a message in a language that your system doesn't handle, or you might send an email with no subject line. Now, all these are valid user scenarios. But here's a problem. Most tutorials don't just skip the failure handling, they skip the failure mode thinking in an entirely. So they never ask us what happens when this step fails. They'll never ask us what happens when the model is confidently wrong and what happens when, let's say, the knowledge base returns the irrelevant results. If you have never been trained to think about the failure mode, you won't even think about them, especially when you're even designing your system. And your system will fail in exactly the ways that you didn't even consider. And I've seen this show up in production more times than I can count. Now, the third gap is a deepest one, the decision making gap. In a tutorial, the decisions are made for you. Use this model, use this framework, set up a pipeline like this. You follow the steps and it works. In production, nobody tells you what to use. You have to decide. Should I use the RAG or fine tuning? Do we need an agent or will a pipeline would work? Which model for which step? And how do we handle the trade off between my accuracy and cost? What is our escalation strategy? Where do we put the human in the loop? So every one of these is actually a decision, and every decision has a trade off. And nobody in a tutorial ever shows you as how to think through this trade off because in tutorial, there are no trade off. They're just this is the right way to do it, and I want you to follow those steps. But in production, there's no right way. It doesn't have a right way. Production always have the best option given the specific constraint. So learning to navigate that, that's an entirely different skill set than just following a tutorial. Now let me give you three anti-pattern. The things the engineers do because tutorials train them to do? First, assuming that your tutorial architecture equals to the production architecture. Just because your demo uses a single prompt with retrieval doesn't mean that that's your production blueprint. The demo is your starting point and it's not your blueprint. Second, skipping the failure mode thinking entirely. Like if you can't name the top three ways that your system would fail, you haven't finished designing a system. You have just finished the happy path. That's it. Third, choosing the tools even before defining the requirement. Now, this is a big one. We'll use LangChain, Cloudy, and vector database before you have defined what the success would look like, before you know the constraint, before you have set the failure budget. So every one of these anti-patterns comes from the same root cause. Tutorials teach you to build from the tools up, and production requires you to think from the problem down. All right, so let's make this real, guys. Your first decision checkpoint. You're asked to build an AI support system for 10,000 users right now, today. Now, where do you start? Option A, do you start with a prompt? Maybe you will open up your editor, write a system message, connect to the API, and you will start testing. Option B, you start with an architecture diagram, sketch the component, map the data flow, and plan the pipeline. Option C, you start with failure scenarios, list everything that could go wrong, every edge case, every bad outcome. What do you think? Think about it. I'll give you a few seconds. Okay, so if you have said A, then that's a tutorial thinking. It feels productive because you're building before you have thought about it. But if you have said B, that's better. It's an architectural first approach. It's a step in the right direction, but it's still a forward path thinking. You're designing as how it should work, not for how it will break. The senior answer is actually C. You start with the failure scenarios. Why? Well, because when you know how the system can fail, you design a system that handle those failures. Your failure list will actually shape your architecture. It tells you where you need to implement a validation, where exactly is it that you need the escalation, where you need the human oversight, where you need monitoring. The failures are the one that will define the architecture. It's not the other way around. A system that is designed around the happy path works in demo. A system that is designed around failure mode works in production. Now, here is what I want you to carry out of this video. It runs is not same as it holds up. Your demo runs, your tutorial project runs, but running is the lowest bar. Does it hold up under load, under bad input, under model failures, under budget constraint? Would your system survive that? Now, that's the bar that we are building toward. In the next video, we zoom in on the real gap, that is decision making under the constraint. I'll introduce the case study that follows us through the entire course, and I'm going to show you the three questions that every senior engineer asks before choosing any architecture. Before you leave, I want you to ask yourself this one critical question. Can I explain not only how my system is designed, but why is it designed that way with the constraint that is mentioned? Because that is where the real shift happens. Most engineers can follow the tutorial, but very few can defend the architectural choices that they have made. But that is what you are tested upon in your interviews as well as your senior engineering discussion. That is exactly what we go deep inside AI Architect System Design. Think like a senior engineer. This course is for the people who wants to move beyond the tools and framework and start thinking in terms of architecture, trade-offs, failure mode, constraints and production decision. If that is the muscle that you want to build, check the link in the description. Subscribe to our channel if you are new to us. I'll see you next time.